What the prosecution has failed to mention is the very real threat my client was facing. The Paragon virus. Attacking his business, his family legacy from the inside out. Was my client's response extreme? Possibly. But I will make it crystal clear that Victor Newman's back was against the wall, that he was acting merely in self-defense.
A lie! My husband had nothing to do with the computer virus. You don't care about that, do you, Victor? Because you want to silence the competition, including letting my husband almost die.
Order. I will have order in this courtroom.
Sit down.
I won't tolerate any more outbursts from anyone. Is that understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
As I was saying, the threat was so extreme that my client felt compelled to take action. And I am confident, when all of the evidence is presented, that you will realize he was justified. And you will vote to acquit. Thank you.
You're making it sound as if I kidnap people just for the fun of it. You know, just because my computer has a bug in it. My family almost perished, almost died in that fire, caused by Paragon.
It'll all come out in the testimony. I am laying the groundwork. Besides, Phyllis's outburst helped us. It made them all look like a bunch of lunatics over on that side. Now, trust me, Victor, I've got this.
Yeah, makes two of us. What happened?
I did not want to walk away and desert you like the rest of the family had, but I probably should have, Grandpa.
Why?
The night that you were arrested, I got caught up in everything that you were saying about how awful the world would be for the family without you in it.
And trust me, it'll prove that I'm right.
No, Grandpa, that was all just a fantasy of what might have been. Conveniently leaving out all the terrible things that you've done, so I blocked them out too. Only now am I starting to realize how devastating they all were. I mean, my mom is still wrecked because of what you did to her.
Sweetheart, I am sorry that I hurt your mom. I didn't mean to do that, all right? I wanted to defend my company and my family.
Grandpa, that is always your excuse, but that is not acceptable this time.
Wait a minute. I gotta talk some sense into you. I think your mother wants to turn you against me.
Grandpa, everything that my mom said is true,
Are you forgetting about Paragon? That nearly destroyed my company that I spent a lifetime building up. Our whole family nearly perished in the fire caused by Paragon, by that damn virus. Yes, I went after Jack. Mistakenly so. I didn't realize until later that who was responsible for unleashing that virus on our company was Adam and Ian Ward. By the time I realized that, it was too late. Your mother was already in a path of destruction. If I were you, I would watch her carefully. I think the signs are all there.
What signs?
I am telling you that your mom is about to spin out of control.
A little protest with Michael, was that part of the plan?
No.
Then why antagonize the judge publicly?
Because I could not stand Michael defending Victor for what he did. And I do not think it's a bad thing for the judge to see that we are on opposite sides.
This is a trial. We're going to hear things about Victor that none of us want to hear. Can you keep calm and quiet until it's your turn to talk? If the answer is no, you could be sabotaging your own cause.
Now you're worried about my mom.
Sweetheart, I hate to tell you this, but I've seen your mom like this before, okay? She becomes very destructive, very unpredictable.
Destructive?
Yeah. You know Christine Williams, the district attorney, right?
Yeah.
You know what your mother did? She rented a car in order to mow Christine down in cold blood. She almost went to prison for it.
Okay, Grandpa, that was a million years ago.
It is not an isolated incident. I'm telling you. I'm warning you. How do you think she got a hold of Pesky? You know how? She had Adam kidnapped.
No. No, she didn't.
Yes. I'm almost absolutely certain she did. Because who has passkey right now? Your mom does. Besides, Adam always said that he thought there was a woman behind his abduction.
Okay, so if you really think that that's true, why didn't you have my mom arrested?
Why do you think?
Because you felt guilty about Marco and you wanted to spare her. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. What I'm also telling you is that your mother is in a very dangerous state of mind. She's like a runaway train. She'll run over anything in her path.
During his opening statement, Mr. Baldwin introduced the theory that Victor Newman was operating in self-defense. Is there any truth to that?
None whatsoever.
So you weren't behind the Paragon virus that was unleashed on Newman Enterprises?
No, that dubious honor belongs to Ian Ward. I believe he's serving time for that right now. I was no threat to Victor, to his family, or his company.
But he still came after you, is that correct?
Oh, Victor and I have been feuding for decades, ever since I started working in the business world. But he and I have locked horns many times. This time, though, he went too far.
So can you explain to the court why you think Victor would commit crimes of this
Alleged
magnitude?
crimes, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Because he's a sadist.
Judge.
Sustained. Strike that last line of testimony,
I'm
please.
sorry, Your Honor, I know no other way to describe a man who had me kidnapped on my honeymoon and then delivered me to the hands of an unstable woman who kept me hostage for weeks on end, away from my family, away from my home. I'm sure Victor took great pleasure in my suffering.
Mr. Abbott, once you got back to Genoa City, why didn't you go to the police immediately?
Because in my escape, there was a cargo ship, there was a fire, an explosion, and I thought that I had killed the entire crew.
And had you?
No, though Victor tried very hard to make me believe I had. He kept insisting that I would face extradition if the truth ever came out.
Did it?
Yes, it did. Much later. It turns out none of the crew was killed. All of them survived, all of them made it to shore, and all of them accepted bribes from Victor to stay silent, to disappear, to make it seem as though they were dead.
Why would he do that?
I can only think of one reason. Because he wanted to keep me in line so that I didn't share with the world his crimes.
Let me ask you something, Jack. Whatever happened to that hapless, deranged woman after you broke her heart? What happened to her?
Mr. Newman, unless you're testifying, I expect you to keep quiet. Are we clear?
Yes, Your Honor, we are very clear. Thank you.
Why don't we go ahead and talk about that? The woman that captured you, what has become of her?
Her name was Kelly Andrews. She kept me strapped to a mattress for weeks on end. The only water I got was laced with drugs. She kept food from me for days because I couldn't say what she wanted to hear.
That you were still in love with her.
Yes, that's right.
What else did Kelly do?
She tormented me. She told me my wife was dead, even showed me newspaper clippings to support it. I had no way of proving that she was wrong. She told me that no one at home was looking for me any longer. It made no sense. That is until I made it back to Genoa City, and then it made all the sense in the world.
Because another man had taken your place.
Yes, that's right.
How did you get away?
I told you I was starved and drugged, and I wasn't in my right mind, and I was blacking out, and one morning I woke up and Kelly was lying dead next to me, and I assumed that I was responsible for her death.
No one has pressed charges for this, correct? Not here or overseas.
Yes, that's correct. Even the poor woman's brother isn't pressing charges.
I have no further questions for this witness.
Mr. Baldwin.
No questions, Your Honor, but I do reserve the right to recall this witness at a future time.
Very well. You may step down, Mr. Abbott.
Are you serious? I want you to go after that righteous bastard.
Be patient, Victor. It's part of my strategy.
Hell of a strategy you have.
Your Honor, the people call Phyllis Abbott.
Were there moments when you felt there was something a little off with your husband or the man you believed was your husband?
All the time.
So you noticed differences between him and the Jack you had known for years, is that correct?
Yes.
Can you give us an example?
Jack Abbott has one of the strongest work ethics of anyone I know. Marco would blow off work at a drop of a hat. He liked to dress more flamboyantly, and he liked spicier food. The list went on.
And how did you explain those changes to yourself?
I ignored them at first, but Jack was injured in a building collapse. He had a concussion, and I thought maybe that could explain some of the changes in his behavior.
But it never occurred to you that another man, an exact look-alike, could have stepped in and taken his place?
No, that idea never crossed my mind.
How long was Marco a part of your life without you being aware of it?
He stepped in and started his masquerade on my honeymoon. And I thought the man in my bed was the same man that I had known and loved for years. And it wasn't until months later that I found out he was a stranger, a sick criminal, who was having intercourse with me, who I did not know and I did not give my consent to, and who violated me repeatedly. And that man, who was sitting right there, did not lift a finger to stop it. He knew what was happening, and he did nothing to stop it. And I hate you for what you did to me.
Mrs. Abbott?
And you sit there with your arms crossed and with a smug
Mrs.
grin
Abbott.
on your
Jack,
face,
Your Honor.
like you were above all
Quiet
this,
down.
but you are not. You think everyone
right.
is getting too close to you, and you want to brainwash them. And my daughter,
That's enough.
my sweet baby daughter, has
Mrs. Abbott.
believed your lies enough to feel sorry for me.
Mrs. Abbott,
What do you want from
quiet
me?
down. Quiet
What do
down.
you want from me?
Phyllis, Your Honor. Mrs. Abbott,
I'm gonna make you
quiet
pay.
down.
I'm gonna
Order in
make
the
you
court.
pay. Go ahead.
Order in the court. Escort her out, please. To the court.
No, you stay here. This trial's about you. Make sure he doesn't get away with anything else.
You get her back here, put her ass on the stand. Do you understand that? And make her admit that she resurrected Paragon for one reason only, to destroy my company.
Weeks after you brought Anaceli
I don't
here.
give a damn. Listen, she's not interested in
Well, you want to
justice.
push her further
She
over
wants
the edge?
revenge.
You want to make yourself
That's
look
all.
like more of a monster?
She wants revenge.
And by the looks on the faces of the jury, she just might get it.
Mom, you need to calm down before someone gets hurt, okay? The way that you looked at Grandpa looked like you were gonna kill him.
Your grandfather has killed so many people. He is responsible, and I can't even believe that you're defending him.
Yes, Grandpa's made a lot of mistakes, but right now you are the one lashing out all over the place.
Please, just go. No, you're ripping my heart out right now. Just go.
Mom, don't you understand that I am worried about you right now?
Phyllis,
I can't be in the same room with him. I can't breathe.
it's okay. You're all right.
I'm such a mess.
You're tired.
He's brainwashed my daughter. She thinks I'm the problem. She feels sorry for him. How can you believe this is even happening?
She's young, but she's got a big heart and she's smart just like her mom, okay? She's gonna figure him out. Everybody does.
That's not even the worst of it. Me sitting there on the stand. I was so weak. Oh my God, I was so weak.
Don't say that, okay? You are not weak. You just proved it in there. You were stronger than Marco Anaceli and Victor Newman could ever be. You're gonna come out of this a winner. You know you are. I can feel it.
Seated, please. Mr. Baldwin, you may call your first witness.
Just a minute, Judge, please. Are you sure about this?
Positive.
I don't like asking a question when I don't know the answer.
Luca's response will be your answer.
I don't like it, Victor.
I don't give a damn whether you like it or not. My name is on your retainer check. You got it? You do as I wish.
Mr. Baldwin.
The defense would like to recall Mr. Luca Santori. Now, Mr. Santori. I understand you have information regarding this case. Something about the defense that the jury should know. Would you please tell us what that is?
The thing that I know, sir, is that you are not representing your client to your utmost ability. In fact, you are deliberately attempting to throw this case.
Sorry I missed your testimony. I heard you were a force to be reckoned with.
Oh, well, I don't feel like any kind of force right now.
We've had our battles. But you standing up to Victor today in court is something I will never forget.
Thank you for saying that, Phyllis.
Settle down.
You gotta get in here. It's blowing up.
Down or I'll clear this courtroom. These are very serious allegations, Mr. Santori.
I understand that, but they're true.
Based on what evidence?
I overheard a conversation between Mr. Baldwin and his wife.
What, you were eavesdropping?
Not intentionally.
What was the gist of this conversation?
The defense attorney conspired with his friend, one of the alleged victims, Phyllis Abbott, to make sure Mr. Newman gets convicted and goes to jail.
Do you know the penalty for perjury, Mr. Santori?
I just took an oath before my testimony, Judge. I'm telling the truth.
Your Honor, I'd like the opportunity.
Your Honor, pardon the interruption. I have no choice but to fire my legal counsel effective immediately. He's not defending me. He hasn't even cross-examined any of the witnesses. He says it's a strategy. I now know what that strategy is all about. And this comes from a man I used to call my friend. His loyalties obviously are resting with other people, not with me.
Well, if these allegations prove to be true, you could lose your license and never practice law again, Mr. Baldwin.
I'm aware of that, Your Honor.
Then I'm going to grant Mr. Newman ample time to find a new attorney. I presume the district attorney has no objections?
None, Your Honor.
Very well. Then court is adjourned till 10 a.m. next Monday, at which time I expect that the defendant will have secured an attorney to represent himself in this situation.
Your Honor, if you don't mind, I don't need a postponement. I don't intend to hire another lawyer. I intend to serve as my own counsel. And as such, I will call as my first witness Victor Newman.
Next, on The Young and the Restless.
What was I supposed to do? Was I going to lie? It would be against the law and certainly not honorable.
You're lying right now.
Brace yourself. Victor's calling you back up on the stand.
Are you ready? More than ready.